Hey everybody, it's Boardman21 and today's build is going to be the Lich, but we will not be using Death Wave. This build will not incorporate Death Wave or its ridiculous damage at all, in hopes that we can come up with a good build that would not depend on it, that will be viable in case it gets nerfed in patch 7.9. In this we will still use Death Seal, but we'll be using it for its poison chance. We will be running this with basically all poison skills and doing ridiculous amounts of poison as we just reap along as fast as possible. We're going to have Wandering Spirits, we're going to run the Plague Staff, we're going to have the Poison Chance and Death Seal, we're going to have Spirit Plague that we're casting on enemies, which comes with more stacks of poison on hit with it, and Bleed will be in Reaper form, and then we'll have Aura of Decay also going, and Aura of Decay of obviously is going to be lots of poison. So all 5 of our skills are going to be working and synergizing around poison, and we'll just wipe through everything, especially once you get a couple of stacks on a boss. Its health will just disappear. Meanwhile, like I said, you're just reaping, so actually the clear speed is really fast. We won't be running Transplant, and we won't be running Death Wave, which are some of the things that are unique to this build, especially for the Lich in this patch. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, we're going to be running Wandering Spirits, Death Seal, Spirit Plague, Reaper Form, and Aura of Decay. For Wandering Spirits, we have our usual setup for Poison with 5 points in Thin Veil, 1 point in Infectious Dead, 4 points in Lingering Souls, 3 points in Spirit Swarm, 2 points in Souls of Rage, 1 point in Spectral Putrescence, and 3 points in Soul of Filth, with our last point in Spectral Scorn. For Death Seal, we have 5 points in Corrupted Consciousness, and just like I said, there is no Mortal Pulse. We are not doing the Death Wave. We have 3 points in Desperate Shroud and 4 points in Pustulant Presence for that super high increased poison chance. We also have 1 point in Deadlock, 3 points in Moratorium, 1 point in Devouring Release, 1 point in Soul Stability, 1 point in the Quick and the Dead, so we get haste for the full 8 seconds when it wears off, and 1 point in Flesh Pact so that we get health, 25 health per second, but no death waves are cast. So like I said, this is a non-death wave build. We are completely based around the poison and the increased damage for that poison. For Spirit Plague, we have 5 points in Pestilence for increased global damage over time, 1 point in Plague Bear for plaguing the targets, 1 point in Effacious Application, 2 points in Toxic Transmission for 2 poison stacks per cast, 2 points in Hindering Affliction to slow the target, 1 point in Plague Burst for a chance to spread, 3 points in Hemorrhage so that we do 3 stacks of bleed per cast, and 5 points in Laceration for a bleeding enemy to have a 150% chance of more stacks against them. For Reaper form, we have 2 points in Mistress of Decay, 4 points in Harbinger of Blood, 2 points in Swift Harbinger so that the reap cooldown is decreased and we can reap more often, 2 points in Sweeping Scythe so that we reap further, 4 points in Ghastly Flow so every time that we do reap our move speed increases by 8%, 2 points in Soul for a soul, and 4 points in Reaper's Curse. And then for Aura of Decay, we have 3 points in Rot Weaver, 1 point in Sleeping Wounds, 3 points in Mana Blight, 1 point in Poisoned Soul, 4 points in Absence of Life, 1 point in Inoculation, 2 points in Vulnerability, 1 point in Poison Bolt, and 4 points in Poison Barrage. So we have Poison Bolts that are doing stacks of poison, we have Aura that's doing its normal poison, we have its frequency increased, we then have Wandering Spirits, and with the Plague Staff, their hits are going to be doing 3 or 4 stacks of poison per hit. We have Death Seal, which is going to give us that poison chance will automatically be reduced down to 33% of our maximum health. So that's 67% missing, divide that by 3 is 22, and 22 times 4 means you'll have 88% increased poison chance, almost an extra stack with every hit from every source. and then Spirit Plague doing its 2 poison stacks per hit on top of what the Plague Staff gives us, on top of what Death Seal is going to give us. It gets a little ridiculous with the poison, and you're putting hundreds of stacks on enemies that live long enough to have it on them. For passives, we have 26 points in the base Acolyte class with 8 points in Blood Aura, 5 points in Blood Pact, 5 points in Crimson Gluttony, and 8 points in Forbidden Knowledge. Nothing in the Necro and 88 points in the Lich. We have 8 points in Crippling Insight, 8 points in Survival of the Cruel, 8 points in Dance with Death, 5 points in Grasp of Fate, 8 points in Desolation, 2 points in Apocrypha, 8 points in Unclosing Wounds, 10 points in Necrotic Energy, 8 points in Ageless Ascetic, 5 points in Soul Maul, 10 points in Mind over Body, and 8 points in Corrosive Consciousness. For items, we are running these idols that give us poison protection while Aura of Decay is active, and if you can find any, the suffix doesn't really matter, but if you have any that increase poison damage, there's some that reduce health degen. For us, we just went with a bunch of poison damage ones. Some are good, some are bad. We have the Plague Staff. You can get up to a, I believe, 220, yeah, up to a 220% chance to poison on hit. We have 194 on this build in all of the gameplay. And then for your gear, lots of int, some health regen, dodge, and health. Those are the most important affixes that you can go for. No special affixes, you're not doing anything that's class specific. We do run the Oracle Amulet so that we have that decreased damage over time. And then we just run poison protection and poison damage and damage over time everywhere that we can get it. We are running set dodge on the amulets, and we do have 100% glancing blow. With that, we have the character sheet. On the character sheet, you can see we have a ridiculous amount of poison protection. A lot of that comes from the idols. And then on the amulet, we did the percentage increase, so we actually get a really good percent. We do have a 100% glancing blow. We have almost 60% dodge, and then you can see our damage kind of bounces around. But when we cast one Spirit Plague, you can see that if we hit an enemy, it would go a little bit higher. When we use Death Seal, it jumps up to over 1,000%, and while we are in Reaper form, it's even a little higher. So we're doing really good poison damage on top of being able to do a lot of stacks. For the gameplay of this, all I do is put Reap into autocast, so that all we do is keep reaping around. I'll have the Wandering Spirits in autocast, and then we'll have Death Seal active every time that it comes off cooldown, and you just keep using Spirit Plague on everything. There's no mana, there's nothing to worry about. And as long as you're hitting some things with either Death Seal or with Spirit Plague, you will leech as much life as you need so that you'll stay alive and stay in Reaper form. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some gameplay.